What's up, movie buff, talking Detective Pikachu? I will say that I was a fan of Pokemon back in the day. My brother was way more into it than me. He had the Pokédex, he had the cards, but I was into it enough to know the stories, some of the characters, the cartoon animation and stuff. So while I wasn't a huge fan, I was definitely a fan enough to know what I was getting myself into. This is a little bit of a twist. Pikachu talks, and he's voiced by Ryan Reynolds, which I felt was the key to this movie's success. I mean, I love Ryan Reynolds, but this is almost like watching Deadpool in a Pikachu costume. Not as vulgar, but definitely just as quippy, definitely just as witty. Ryan Reynolds brings all his strengths to the screen in Pikachu. So basically, you've got this kid. His dad, it was a detective. He dies. He kind of is out to, just kind of like wrap up his affairs. And then you've got Pikachu, which just comes along and he can talk. And the kid, who's played by Justin Smith, his name is Tim in the movie, he can understand him. And so this is very different. No one has ever understood a Pikachu, and no one else can understand Pikachu but Tim. So they have like this bond, this relationship that happens really quickly. And Pikachu is the partner of his dad, which was also a detective. So they were like, he wants to solve this mystery, find this kid's dad, so he can find out why, what happened, how can he talk, what's going on, solve the mystery kind of deal. So that's why it's called Detective Pikachu. Obviously, you have a couple of different characters from the animation. There's no Rocket Team, there's no Team Rocket or whatever you call it, but there is a ton of there is a ton of Pokemon in this movie. And that's another strength of this movie, is because, you've got, the Charmander and the Squirtle and the Bulbasaur, blah, blah, all the little cute little Pikachu, all the cute little Pokemon in this movie that you will definitely remember, whether you are a fan of the Pokemon era or not. You'll know these characters. It was a cultural phenomenon back when I was growing up. So, it's the highest IP in the world. So everybody thought this movie was going to be like, $800 million first day, opening weekend kind of deal. It obviously didn't do that good of numbers. It didn't do bad. It's going to lose the studio money in the end. We might see another one. We probably won't, unless they feel like they can maybe capitalize on the success that the movie did have. 6.9 out of 10. So I mean, it's not getting killed by critics, but more people are liking it than critics are liking it. Like I said, if you're going in for any kind of cute factor, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. You're going to get everything you want out of this, because all the little Pokemon are adorable. They're the little sounds that they do. You've got the Charizard for the big dragon that evolves, Charmander that evolves from Charizard or whatever. So you've kind of got a Pokemon battle-esque scene in the movie, which is awesome. And they even kind of allude to the Poke trainers and the lifestyle that they have. And I thought that would have been dope if you could have followed kind of like Ash in this new realm of world or whatever, where Pokemon and humans coincide. That would have been a cool movie. This wasn't a bad movie. I just would have rather seen more battles instead of story. But, it's just kind of a different take. It didn't not work. It was just different. I'll put it that way. The sequence of this movie basically breaks down into, there's like this gas that makes Pokemon crazy. That makes them super aggressive. And there's this town where they're supposed to be all happy, Pokemon and people coincide. Pokemon have jobs and they help people and everybody's happy, you know, and this kid is like not, he's always wanted to be a Pokemon trainer, but it didn't work out for him. He's kind of an odd duck, and he kind of hooks up with another odd duck, which she's like this reporter girl who has this Psyduck, and Psyduck is basically this Pokemon where if he gets stressed out, he explodes. So the whole time you're like, oh, this guy's gonna go. And he finally does, but it was to their benefit. It was a really cute movie. Kids are gonna love it. Pokemon people lovers are gonna love this shit. It was good enough for me to enjoy the movie. I wouldn't mind seeing a second one and seeing what they did, but they kind of didn't leave it open, in my opinion, for a follow-up. It's kind of like a one and done, and if they do it again, it's going to be a different story, a different universe. Maybe they will do the Poke Trainer-esque type story, which would be much better, in my opinion. Leave them a lot more leeway to grow as a franchise, which that's what all movies want to do now. They want to be the next Avengers. They want to be a franchise. So everything from Godzilla to the horror universe is trying to be a franchise. So obviously they want to do that. I don't know how they'll do as far as the success goes. If the studio makes money on movies, they're going to make another one. If they don't, they probably won't. It really doesn't matter what the fans want. That's kind of a hard pill to swallow, but that's the way the life is. They don't make movies to lose money. At the end of the day, if they make any kind of profit, they'll probably make a second one just because they know they can probably make a little bit of profit. Even if it's a little bit's better than nothing. And, you know, they just recycle old movies when they run out of ideas. So there's plenty of new content out there, just a lot of people don't go and support it. Booksmart is in theaters now, and it's Olivia Wilde's, you know, directorial debut. Everyone says it's great, and no one's going to watch it. So there you go. That's what happens, you know, and that's why they recycle old stuff that made money 20 years ago. Now they're redoing all the Disney movies and the everything. So, you know, just go out and support different stuff if you want to see different stuff. We vote with our dollars. That being said, this movie was pretty entertaining. There were some slow parts, there were some silly parts, there was some parts where it didn't really make any sense, but it was cutesy, fun enough to stay involved. Like I said, the plot, you know, is basically surrounded by this gas that turns Pokemon crazy, and you kind of have to decipher. They have to detective work to decipher what, you know, why and what's going on. And there's the arch villain, and then you see, you know, Mewtwo, which is obviously the ultimate Pokemon. I mean, I even know that Mewtwo was like the if you had a Mewtwo card, you were the shit. On the playground or anywhere you had Poke people, you were the shit if you had Mewtwo. And obviously he is the shit in this movie. And it kind of delves into Mewtwo more than you've ever have known about him before. So that was kind of interesting. The twist in the end is cool how they did it. It was unexpected. I kind of started to see where they were going, but how they went there was a different route. So yeah, you know, go check it out. You know, like I said, if you want more movies like this, you have to vote with your dollars. So, you know, go support your local movies. And until next time, see you at the movies.